Okay. I believe we are live. Straight politicking on all you suckers. I'm feeling much better than I did last week, but I'm still feeling the residual effects of what was going on. I don't know. Did you bump into anybody that had the flu or flu-like symptoms last week?
No. Just chill. You was under the weather. That's it.
That's crazy because I don't usually get sick. It's been a minute, and my daughter got sick. She must have got it from me.
Right. That's what I'm about to say. You got her sick.
Yeah, I got her sick a little bit, but she's feeling better now. And man, there's a lot going on, man. That's a lot going on. I don't have any. I actually had a fact check, but it was about the Grammys. I was one Grammy off on. Andre 3000 and Outkast. Outkast has 6 Grammys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Andre 3000 has 9, but he actually has 3 solo. So on that list, it included the 6 he has from Outkast, and then it added the 3 that he has. So he has a total of 9.
They just basically combined it.
Yeah, they combined it in the list. I thought that he had a separate 9 and then the separate 6 with Outkast. But they had combined it. But nevertheless, bro got 9 Grammys. That's still he's still in the 0.0001% of people in hip hop. And I was listening back to that conversation we had. I thought it was kind of interesting because I'm looking at that.
Which part?
Just the whole conversation on Grammys that are awarded to rappers and then rappers who we revere and we think are the best. It don't align. In most instances, I think on that list, I think most people would agree Kanye is elite. At least he was in his prime,
right,
as an elite MC. But I don't think that, there's so many other people that you would think should be on that list, like Snoop. Snoop has never won anything on a song that was while he was on death row. Nothing on any of the death row songs.
Death row era was gangster rappers even receiving Grammys?
I don't know. I think I don't know what Dre's Grammys are from. I think he had 7 or 8. But and his first #1 hit was with Pharrell. Beautiful. And that took him to another level. And then when he was with No Limit, that took him to another level. But we all love the songs he did when he was with Death Row.
Those are all his classics.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Murder Was the Case, Gin and Juice. You know what I'm saying? Those are all his classics.
So there's been a lot of MCs that have been overlooked by the Grammys, by the those that are in power that make those decisions. So I mean, not that I saw, we didn't go through the entire list, but Left Eye Lopez from TLC, she got a Grammy or 2.
Yeah, I want to know, did Dr. Dre Grammy come within that Death Row era or after?
It might have came in when he was doing the Aftermath. I didn't look that up, but he got a handful, well deserved.
They didn't want to see Death Row at the Grammys. You know how deep they used to roll to award shows, and people were scared to be around them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't even think Pac has a Grammy. I don't think Pac ever won a Grammy.
I don't think so.
And he definitely has a body of music and work that's deserving to have been recognized. I was a little surprised that Drake only has 5, considering he's been nominated like 90 times, something ridiculous.
So he leading the race in nominations.
Well, they all got a lot of nominations. I think Kendrick has the least of out of Jay-Z, Kendrick, and Drake. And J. Cole has, I think, only 1 or 2 Grammys. And bro's been doing this thing for quite a while. I'm sure he's deserving of more than just 1 or 2 out of the other people that are on the list.
Oh, well, he just dropped, though, so we're going to see what happens next go around then.
Yeah, so that was my fact check that Andre, the 9 that he has includes the 6 from Outkast. You think he got anything going on in the future, or he's pretty much done?
I think he pretty much done.
Yeah, he dropped this album where he was playing the flute. I listened to it, but it wasn't his greatest work.
I heard something about it. So what, he just playing the instrument the whole thing?
I believe so, and I'm
Not saying no words.
I just listened to a couple of songs. I'm not even sure if he is a trained flutist. Is it something that he wanted to try? Something that, it reminded me of Michael Jordan trying to play baseball when he retired from the NBA.
Okay, was Michael Jordan any good in baseball?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I think his batting average was like 100.
So how they just let him walk on or be kind of like what to fill up seats or something?
Hey, he's Michael Jordan. He only played in the minor league, so he never made it to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He played for the Chicago White Sox minor league team, and I think his batting average was like 100, which is considered low.
Okay, all right, Master P. Did he ever? They try to say he played in the pros. Was it a real game or was that some D League stuff?
No, he played in an NBA game, but I believe it was preseason. So it wasn't an official game. But he balled out. He definitely balled out.
In that preseason game?
Yeah, he sure did. He's got a nice shot, jumper. He could shoot from the arc. He could shoot baseline. Yeah, he balled out. But obviously, it takes a little bit more than that.
Okay, so when the real season started, he was on the roster though.
Yeah, technically he was. He got cut after preseason. So he
wasn't on the roster then. I was trying to see, was he on the sideline during the real season?
No.
Okay.
He was on the preseason team, which I believe they cut those teams down to 15. What's the NBA roster?
Everybody got different amounts. Some got up to 17, and some got 15.
Yeah, it used to be 12 in the 80s and 90s, and then they expanded it to 15. And
if it was 12, everybody got some PT then.
Shit,
12?
The Lakers only used to play. They only used to play like 7 guys. They had James Worthy coming off the bench. They had Michael Cooper coming off the bench. And maybe Kurt Rambis, and that's it. It was always going to be Magic, Worthy, Kareem, Norm Nixon was the point, and then Byron Scott came later. But the shit, it's like 3. Mitch Kupchak, I don't believe ever played. He was like the last dude on the bench.
Hey, so when they try to compare errors of basketball, these dudes played the whole game.
They did.
It wasn't no load management or none of that. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of people critique the lack of defense back then too. So you're not getting as tired though. Because what the scores were in the 80s. A lot of times it'd be like 120 to 110. A lot of times it was 120 points being scored.
It's like that now.
It is like that now, but I think that in the 80s it was more. The average score was a little bit higher, and the defense is more discussed in today's game than it was back in the 80s. So, Magic didn't really play a lot of defense. The defense didn't come until the 90s, man, with the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons would shut you down at 89 points a game.
Yeah, with the boy Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. So a lot of I remember watching a game one time. It was like 135 to 120. Some regular shit in the 80s. But you still do get that time to time.
Yeah, you still get it.
Yeah. But I think it was more common back then. And, nah, man, if you in the NBA, boy, you better be able to play 48 minutes. Shit. You better be conditioned to play the whole game.
Nah, man, they got this load management thing. They be babying people and all that.
Hey, they do that in baseball now, too.
Load management?
Well, the pitcher, when I used to watch baseball in the late 70s, and throughout the 80s, pitchers would pitch the whole game more often. 9 innings. You pitch in the 9 innings. Maybe you might pitch 8, and a reliever will come in for that last inning. But now all your starting pitchers, after you get to the 5th inning, they're taking you out. They're going to bring in their middle relief for the 6th and 7th, and then they'll bring in the guy that's throwing the heat for the 8th and the 9th, because they want to preserve that starting pitcher.
Yeah, but baseball, major league players don't get breaks. They play day after day after day.
Yeah, 161 or 163 games a season.
Yeah.
But it's not the physical output is nowhere near what an NBA game is or an NFL game is. You know, you're sitting in the dugout for what's 80% of the time. You only come out when you're going to hit maybe 3 times a game. If you're at the top of the order, you might get 4 at bats, and then you're out in the field catching balls. How many balls are going to come to you during the course of a game? There's 9 positions out there, and I love baseball. I ain't putting it down at all. If that's what it sounds like. In fact, baseball is my favorite sport, but I have to agree with others that say the physical output is much lower. You could be a little chubby, you could be a little overweight and playing baseball as long as you got the talent.
Yeah, if you're a big guy, that has some what you call it, pinch hitting.
Yeah, or you the catcher.
Yeah, you have somebody run for you.
A lot of catchers are a little chubby. Oh yeah, you get a pinch runner come in for you.
Pinch runner.
I remember Cecil Fielder. He played for the Blue Jays. Dude was overweight like a mofo, but he could hit home runs. He could hit home runs.
So he just had somebody run for him.
Yeah,
if
he had a single. I think if he hit a single and it's late in the game, yeah. You know, his son ended up being a pretty good player too. I forget what his son's first name was. But Cecil Fielder is from the 80s, man. Big fat dude. Hitting 50 home runs a season. So, yeah, I think the energy output is a little different in baseball for sure. And I believe there's less injuries. Less injuries in baseball.
I mean, unless you just tear your rotator cuff or, you know what I'm saying, just throwing or...
Football's got to have the most injuries.
Or if you pull something trying to run or steal a base, you pull something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, usually the pitchers get the most injuries because they're throwing the ball, 100 times a game. So they get all the shoulder and elbow injuries.
And the miles they be throwing them balls, that's a weapon.
Hey, man.
They could throw something to knock somebody out.
They're throwing 101, 102 now. That was unheard of in the 70s and 80s. Like, the pitchers are getting faster and faster. The game is changing there. I think when a pitcher used to throw 90, that was, like, amazing. Wow, he threw a 90-mile-an-hour pitch.
Right.
Then I think Nolan Ryan threw, like, a 95, 96 in the 90s, in the 1990s. And then I think Rob Dibble threw a 99-mile-an-hour pitch. But then when you get to the 2000s, every pitcher got to have at least a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Let me ask you something. You think a pitcher could do a quarterback job and a quarterback could do a pitcher job?
Not at all.
No?
Nah, man. Pitching is extremely difficult and quarterbacking is extremely difficult.
Cause you know they use a lot of them coaches from MLB in football to teach the quarterbacks how to slide.
Oh, you talking about soccer?
No.
MLB.
Football. Oh. You know how the quarterback will run and slide. So they'll bring them coaches from the MLB or the players from MLB to teach the quarterbacks how to slide.
Oh, yeah. Prevent them from getting knocked out. That linebacker ain't having no mercy on that quarterback.
Right. So they come from the MLB. They got the specialists that come from over there from the baseball league to show the NFL quarterbacks how to slide. Like,
yeah, sliding is tricky.
Without injuring themselves. Sliding
can be tricky. All right, man. I think you're gonna love this story I found. This program, Disneyland. Disneyland is giving out free tickets to the park to kids who help report crime. I just died laughing when I saw this.
That don't make no sense.
What you mean?
Kids to help report crime?
Yeah, they want kids to help report crime.
I don't understand it.
Well, I think what it is they're trying to get reporting crime to become normalized. So in order for it to be normalized, you got to start teaching the kids it. They basically want kids to grow up into adults that will not hesitate to report crime. That's what it's all about. Trying to change the culture, because I believe that all segments of American society are against telling. It's not just a gang thing. The gang gets the label of they don't want to cooperate. They never want to provide information, but no one wants to cooperate. No one wants to provide information. Corporations don't want to do it. Police officers don't want to do it. Jobs, employment, places of employment come down on those who snitch on other employees. He took a long break. You start telling on who took long breaks, you're gonna get the backlash. You snitching on people that are taking 10 extra minutes on the break. Nobody likes tellers.
So, that sounds like a dumb method, and I wouldn't want my daughter to take part in it.
All right, let me play this clip, and then I'll get your reaction to it.
All right.
Harbor Gateway and Gardena leaders are now calling on their youngest citizens to help report crime around their neighborhoods. It's a new 30-day challenge that kicks off on Valentine's Day. The incentive, free tickets to Disneyland. Fox 11's Haley Winslow has those details.
Homeless encampments, illegal dumping, graffiti, and crime. Some of the many problems plaguing Harbor Gateway and Gardena.
The kids told us at a meeting that the things they were most concerned about,
which sparked an idea, a 30-day challenge for kids. Whoever reports the most illegal activity wins a $50 gift card and tickets to Disneyland.
We're just doing like a project.
Sixth graders at Environmental Charter Middle School are first on deck, setting the stage for the pilot program that will rotate schools around here each month. And they're already on a mission to make their community better.
I want to deal with all the vandalism.
I want to like work on how to fix that and how to prevent injuries about the potholes and broken cement.
I like researching a lot, so with this challenge, I get to learn a lot more about problems that are happening all around.
Kids can report the illegal activity on one of two apps, depending on the location. The City of LA's My LA 311 or similar Gardena Direct.
you just simply press the icon.
They are the superheroes, and they don't have to wait. They'll get the value of having done something well. And the muscle and the body remembers that. And over time, you need less incentives.
So the same message to the adults, I send the same thing to the kids.
A lesson these students are already taking to heart.
Even if you're on a walk, bring a bag that you can collect garbage in.
The challenge kicks off on Valentine's Day, symbolizing love for your community. And hey, the
All right, man. So this is a Gardena, Los Angeles combined project where they have apps to provide information. And they want the kids to start doing it, man.
That's stupid and baseless. It's stupid. It makes zero sense.
Why so?
Okay, so I need an example of what they'll be reporting. So if they're walking home from school and somebody's tagging on the wall, what would they do? They put, hey, somebody tagging right now, or just say what they saw?
Yeah, I guess in the app it's going to ask for a description. Who'd you see? Race, clothes, height, and they want kids to start reporting crimes. It didn't seem like most of the kids' answers had to do with crimes, though. One kid talked about potholes.
That got to do with the city.
Yeah. One kid did mention vandalism, but I see what they're doing here. They're just trying to create a culture within the city where people want to cooperate because they know that, like parents like mine, my dad was always mind your business. No matter what you saw, you didn't see it. No matter what you witnessed, you don't know. Because it's for your own personal safety. You want a kid to report someone writing on the wall that might be armed, that might be dangerous, and this kid decides he's going to pull out his phone and start doing something and then alert this person. You're putting kids in
jeopardy.
In danger, yeah. Hopefully they're training these kids to say, like, go home first, tap in with your family, your parents, and then provide the information through the app. I don't know, man. I just thought it was funny, man.
Yeah, it is funny, and it's a joke. It's a big old joke.
No, this is not a joke, though. This is a real thing.
Not a literal joke, but
Yeah.
it's comical. Like, it makes zero sense.
But I think this conversation about snitching and cooperating needs to go beyond just the streets. It's not just the streets. It's everyone doesn't want to cooperate. And those that do cooperate in any of these other settings are usually vilified and ostracized, whether it's the person at work or whether it's a Fortune 500 company that's doing things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. And someone decides to be they call it whistleblower. And they got these cute words in different settings. Whistleblower is just a snitch, but it's a cool sounding snitch because you're usually exposing some corruption, which we all want. We all want corruption exposed.
It'd be better if you walk home and you see any graffiti on your walls, let us know where's the graffiti tagged at, what street, and then they send the city out to come clean it up so it don't stay on the wall long. That's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you see trash, keep a bag in your backpack so you could put the trash in there, you know what I'm saying, keep our streets clean. That's something different. But this, no. Not at all. It sounds very unsafe if you ask me.
I think it's always unsafe, even when you got adults doing it, because, you know, there's a handful of adult informants, adult cooperators that have been murdered because they were exposed for cooperating. And the police weren't there to protect them. You know?
Hey, when I was in what's that, 4th or 5th grade, they used to have a little DARE program. You familiar with that?
Yeah, it's a drug abuse and resistance.
Yeah, dare to be different and all that. Like, and I remember the DARE officer. Her name was Officer Comey, and I ended up knowing her outside of school because I played football, and her son played for Inglewood, and we used to play against each other. So I used to see her like at the games and stuff. She was cool, but yeah, I don't know what happened to them little DARE programs, and another one called Great, and yeah, they used to have all that little stuff. She was the DARE officer at our school.
But that was just about educating kids on not doing drugs. Was it beyond that?
Just saying no. You know what I'm saying? Basically saying no. Yeah, stand away from drugs and the you know, criminal activity.
Yeah, I think DARE stood for Drug Abuse Resistance Education.
Yeah.
I thought they still had that. They used to have the big the DARE stickers on the bumpers of all the police cars.
I don't think they got that no more. I think that was a helpful little program. DARE.
I think if a kid's gonna do drugs, he's gonna do drugs at, you know, telling someone not to do drugs. I don't think is the deterrent to not doing drugs.
Hey man, honestly, I can't remember what the curriculum was. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I know I ended up knowing Officer Coleman outside of school because I used to see her on Saturdays and she was cool. And then I ended up knowing her son.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know about this, man. That they need to come back to the drawing board with that one.
About getting the kids to inform?
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
They want the kids to be whistleblowers, man.
Nah, but see, these kids be having their little tablets and their phones. They might be writing graffiti on the wall and the kid trying to take a picture. Nah, we don't want to mix your kids up in that. You gotta let the police and adult civilians do that.
No doubt. And what's crazy is that using the incentive of getting Disneyland tickets.
I'll buy that. I'll get them tickets for my daughter.
To lure kids in is insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy.
So, all right, man. So yeah, they had this big old shooting right around the corner of the Marathon store in Long Beach during their, I guess they were opening up their second location.
Third.
Oh, they got one in Venice.
Melrose, Venice, now downtown Long Beach.
Yeah, and unfortunately, was it 3 people shot, 1 dead?
Mm-hmm.
And this happened. It didn't happen in front of the Marathon store. It didn't happen on the same
near.
Very, very close, we'll
right.
say. And I guess there's people are trying to say it had nothing to do with the Marathon store, but I'm not buying that. You know, the Marathon store opening just brought out a whole bunch of people, and sometimes you get a whole bunch of people together, things are gonna happen. Let me play this one clip. This is raw video of the incident. And that's the point where the shots were fired. The cameraman here is relentless, running towards the shooting. And then it appears that the police or security are at this garage, the entrance of a garage, taking people into custody. So
I believe that was a parking structure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that parking structure is probably, 1 block away from the marathon where it happened at. Now, I got 2 news clips. Let's listen to these 2 different clips from the local news here and see how different or how similar they tell the story. Here we go with clip number 1.
And good evening. I'm Susan Hirasuna. Our top story, a day of celebration turns into chaos. Gunfire erupts at a packed block party, leaving 1 dead and others injured. The violence breaking out during the grand opening of a new burger spot. Fox 7's Matthew Seedorf is live in Long Beach with the latest there. Matthew.
Well, Susan, there were thousands of people out here today filling the street for that block party, the restaurant on this block, but then the shooting taking place about another block over right outside the parking garage. You can see police out here tonight still investigating exactly what happened. Dramatic moments in downtown Long Beach as crowds of people run from a deadly shooting.
Gunshots fired on Pine and Broadway.
Police near Broadway and Pine rushing in with weapons drawn, several people put in handcuffs.
Well, they're putting him in the rig.
Officers carrying 1 victim to their patrol car. Skyfox over the scene where authorities say 3 men in their 20s were shot, 1 of the victims killed.
This is sad. That's all I can say.
It looked like a Mardi Gras. Put it that way. It was packed. The streets was full. I mean, the vibe was good. Everybody was vibing. It was pretty cool, and till 1 knucklehead.
Before the shooting, a massive crowd filling the street for a block party in the grand opening of Marthon Burger.
It wasn't related to the restaurant at all. We have full security team, we have police, street closure, people eating ice cream and playing basketball games.
So far, no suspects taken into police custody. Authorities unable to release a motive for the deadly shooting.
Come on now, we're gonna keep it 100. I ain't gotta say it, you already know it. It's sad.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a celebration of life.
Eventually, it's going to be some type of, even the police knows that. There'll be some type of commotion. You got different sets of gangs coming into your neighborhood. So that's what transpired here tonight.
Back out here live, the investigation continues. Police still have this block cornered off. And again, so far, no arrests have been made. If you know anything about this case, call police. Reporting live, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11
Mr. Randall,
News.
keep it real. He said a whole bunch of people from different gangs came here, and that's what happened here.
Is Pine and Broadway somebody hood? Or is that like...
No, that's downtown. No, that's the downtown,
I know it's downtown, but I was guessing, assuming that it was neutral ground, so everybody felt like they able to come.
Definitely.
So that's for sure. No man's land.
Yeah, there's no hood or turf in that part of Long Beach.
Okay.
And the lady that was talking, her name was Miss Smoke. And all right, so that's one of our local channels. Let's go to another channel and hear what they had to say about the same incident.
Now at 11, breaking news. Gunfire breaks out near the grand opening of a new burger joint in the heart of downtown Long Beach. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Liz Nagy. The deadly shooting just steps away from the newest Marthon Burger location, the chain founded by Nipsey Hussle. The family of the late rapper is speaking out tonight. One person was killed with no word of any arrests right now. A PR person for Marthon tells us the incident was not related to today's grand opening.
They called the opening a huge success, saying the restaurant continued to take orders as investigators worked behind crime scene tape just outside the front door. Eyewitness News reporter Abigail Velez has more from Long Beach.
Liz, Jory, this street has been blocked off for a huge portion of the day after a deadly shooting here in the heart of downtown Long Beach. And on a Sunday night, on what was supposed to be a joyous occasion, this was the last thing anyone here wanted to see.
Somebody said, well, they're fighting outside, but it looked like it was, a real, whatever was going on, it was really serious.
It was panic on Pine Avenue on Sunday as the sound of gunfire sent people running during what was meant to be a celebration.
I was shooting, though.
Hundreds had packed this stretch of downtown Long Beach Sunday afternoon for the grand opening of Marthon Burger, the fast food chain founded by the late rapper Nipsey Hussle and his brother Blacc Sam. But just after 3:30 p.m., police say they received reports of gunfire.
And they ran in one direction and then ran in another direction. And then somebody said that they heard gunshots.
The shooting happened about a half block south of the event on Broadway near Pine, just outside the perimeter that had been blocked off for the celebration. Nipsey Hussle's relatives speaking with Eyewitness News.
It was disappointing because I know that Nip, Sam, Blacc Sam wanted this to be a happy occasion. So it's unfortunate that something happened that would bring more attention to the negative elements as opposed to positive elements.
3 men were shot and taken to a local hospital where one victim later died. The other 2 remain in stable condition.
That's devastating. You know what I'm saying? Very devastating, especially, you know, being that, you know what I mean, this is the grand opening. You know, we're here to honor Nipsey Hussle, the late great, you know what I'm saying? And that's not what he would have wanted.
Long Beach police say this is still under investigation with no suspects in custody. Investigators have not said whether the shooting was connected to the grand opening event, but Marthon Burger telling Eyewitness News the incident nearby was not connected to the massive event. The violence comes just one day after hundreds gathered in South LA as the city officially named the intersection of Slauson and Crenshaw Nipsey Hussle Square, honoring the rapper's life and legacy. In Long Beach, Abigail Velez, ABC 7.
There you go. 2 different stories. This story included a relative named Eric Van Dyke of Nipsey Hussle. And my only issue is that we cannot sugarcoat it. To say it's not related, I think it's disingenuous. You know, you have an event, hundreds of people come, if not thousands, and within that group of people that are coming to the event, conflict occurred, which led to the shooting and a death. That means it's related. To say it's not related is just untrue.
Right.
And you know how often people get smoked in downtown Long Beach?
I don't.
I can't think of a time it's happened. It's not a common place where shootings occur. You know. So you'd have to be insane if you're not going to link the event to the murder. Now, I'm not saying that they're a part of it. I'm just saying that the people coming out and being a part of the gathering led to that.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right.
You know, the first clip showed a security from Marthon saying, "Oh, this had nothing to do with our grand opening." And I guess it's just PR, man. It's just PR. PR, your job is to spin the story.
Yeah, it's like just forget the person that lost his life down the street. Ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In the meantime, the family of that person, I'm sure they're feeling a certain kind of way. Like, why did he or she go to the event? Damn, Marthon doesn't have security in the parking garage where most of the people were parking. That was a public parking garage, by the way. So that means, you know, anyone can pull up in there, pay the fee. But hey, maybe they're not required to have security a block away. But like, for example, at USC, there was a killing at USC about a decade ago. And now USC has security like on all these intersections that are not the campus. It goes all the way to Normandy. It stretches all the way to Adams. And they have people that just stand out there all night long looking bored.
USC bought up a lot of that property, though. That's why. Well, all that's USC ground, even though it's off campus.
Well, some of that off-campus stuff is privately owned, though. It's like apartments. But they still put security out there, even though it's not their responsibility. They're not obligated to put the security. You see security standing all in Fruittown Brimhood on the corners late at night. They're just standing there. And they could have did something like that. Like, okay, where's everybody going to park when they come to the marathon? All right, we got 2 parking lots. Let's put a team in that parking lot and another team over here just to monitor stuff. You know, there's ways to do it.
I mean, personally, I ran across a clip and the dude was yelling, we got kids out here. I got my baby with me. What the F y'all doing? But I don't think that's a family-friendly type gathering, although it ain't meant to be chaotic or whatever. But, you know what I mean? The people that's coming out to support, you know, they street people.
No doubt.
I wouldn't. Me and my 10-year-old wouldn't be going to that type of grand opening.
Well, I think we all take a risk at any type of event we go to. We've been to events. I'm sure you and I have both been to events where everything turned out cool. It was peaceful, but it could have went a different way.
Hey, look, unfortunately, I'm never taking my daughter to a King parade, the one that go down King and Crenshaw. If my mom or my baby mom want to take her, that's cool. I'm not standing out there with them. And then, you know, I mean, unfortunately, you know, it go down every King parade anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, just certain places I ain't going with my kids.
Well, we all take that risk. I remember
You gotta take that risk by yourself, though.
I've taken my kids to the local park, where the park has a history of drama, but just because it was some drama in the past, don't mean we can't go to the park on this day and play basketball.
I'm talking about an event. I ain't talking about a place. What's called danger could strike at any time, at any location. I'm talking about events, though.
Well, you know, the MLK Day next year is probably going to be heavy security, so maybe that is a good time to go.
Nah, I'm cool. You can watch that show on TV.
You don't think that the security is going to be heightened next year?
I mean, if it is, it's cool.
Because at some point,
I mean, the police is watching everybody fight this year. They're just looking. So, like, me personally, it ain't worth me taking my 10-year-old to see somebody beating some drums down the street. I think they need to go on a hiatus and just stop the King Parade for some years, honestly, and then bring it back. No, for real, because people not using the day to you know what I'm saying, pay homage and celebrate King's birthday. They using it to you know, and another instance where I understand but I don't agree. You know what I mean? But you know, that's just me being older now, because I used to do the same thing they doing.
So would you go to I guess you would never go to a marathon opening, but let's say it's let's say your boy 211, he's open because he's a businessman. He does type, you know, he might open up something one day. I think he did talk about a restaurant at some point. He has a big old opening. You know, there's a lot of street people gonna come to that too. You pulling up to that? A hypothetical opening for his restaurant?
I would see what I was saying. Marathon grand openings, MLK parades, and things like that. I'm not coming with my kids.
Yeah.
And this dude was on the video yelling like, "Kids out here." You know what I'm saying?
There were kids.
I don't think that's a kid-friendly environment.
Well, it should be though.
Right.
It should be. I mean, they're selling burgers, fries, and shakes. It should be.
Right. Right, but see, nah, I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about me plus one. Me and my 10-year-old, or my, you know what I'm saying? My other daughter are adult now, but, you know.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they renamed that intersection the day before. They've been talking about that ever since he passed in 2019. I thought they forgot all about that.
No. They, I thought it was already official. I thought it was in the books already. I didn't think it was still like something, you know what I'm saying?
They straight gave him a name of an intersection. They did that for Big Pun in the Bronx. I went to his corner, the Big Pun corner.
That's what's handy.
You know, he's one of the greatest rappers that ever came out the Bronx. And I guess Slauson and Crenshaw. I guess cities, cities can do that. They can empower local government to change the name of a corner, intersection. So be it.
No, that's big. You know what I'm saying? He hustled in that corner for years. That little strip, he owned almost every space in that parking lot at one point.
Yeah, he owned the whole building.
The whole parking lot.
So he was renting out to those other tenants.
No, he got his hustle on that corner, so that's big.
Yeah, we've seen a few name changes in this city. We saw Obama Street get renamed in recent years. There used to be Rodeo. And then I saw there's a little part of the 10 freeway that's called Rosa Parks. My girl Rosa Parks. There's a little section of the 10 freeway renamed Rosa Parks.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
And there's a few others. They were going to rename South Park on the east side where the Fire Trey Avalons are. They were going to rename that park. I supported the renaming of that park too, but it never happened. They were going to call it Barry White Park.
They could do it. Ain't nobody gonna call it Barry White Park though. They still gonna call it South Park.
you always say that.
Yeah, like just like Edward Vincent Jr. Park, they still call it Cinderella Park, and then they call it Will Rogers. They don't call it Ted
Watkins.
Ted Watkins. They don't call it that. Like
it take a while though.
It never switched.
Yeah, because once the little kids that are growing up,
but they've been hearing their parents still call it what they call it.
Yeah, but then after the next generation dies off and the new generation comes in, the old names eventually get used less, and then the new names become the new normal. But it takes a while. It definitely takes a while. Trying to think of another place where it took a while, but yeah, it takes a while for names to take form. Hey, this Obama really, that shit was fast.
Okay, all right, another one. I didn't know they changed the name to I forget, but Hacienda Village, the projects, is not called Hacienda Village no more.
Oh, they changed it recently?
I guess it ain't recent. We just don't. Nobody. I just ran across on the internet that the name is something else.
Yeah,
it's a person name. So it'd be hard to shake.
They did that in the Aliso Village when they tore that down in '99. Now it's something Del Sol. They're not calling it the Aliso Projects anymore. And yeah, man, we've seen quite a few name changes over the years. You know that Olympic Boulevard, this was changed many decades ago. That used to be 10th Street, and they called it Olympic because of the 1930, I think it was the 1932 Olympics. They renamed 10th Street to Olympic. And
then Santa Barbara turned to King.
Oh yeah. People hated that, boy. They hated calling it King. You know. And it's just like with when Muhammad Ali changed his name, the media did not want to call him Muhammad Ali. It took a while before the media finally respected him. But even my dad and my family, they still refer to him as Cassius Clay. My dad would still call him Cassius Clay. My dad refused to call him Muhammad Ali because they grew up. He was Cassius Clay. But shit, you and I would never dare call him Cassius Clay.
I mean, what Monster Cody changed his name to? Sanika
Shakur.
Shakur, yeah.
Yeah, but he embraces all his names.
Right.
He doesn't reject one. I just saw a clip of him talking about, when they looking for Cody Scott, they're looking for Cody Scott. He's talking in the third person.
Mm-hmm.
But Muhammad Ali hated the name Cassius Clay. He rejected Cassius Clay. And even Eddie Murphy did a routine in the movie Coming to America where he played the old barber in the barbershop. One of the characters, it might not have been Eddie Murphy's character, one of the old men. He said, his mama named him Clay, I'm going to call him Clay. But, some people just can't embrace the new names, man. All right, so any last words on this marathon shooting, man?
We got to do better.
We got to do better, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, at least Blacc Sam was able to take cover behind a vehicle. In the clip there, he just happened to be standing right behind the car, and he did the right thing.
It's funny, people clowning that clip, right? But what do you do when bullets ring out?
Oh, man, you're supposed to take cover.
You're supposed to get low.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
People literally clowning that action?
I mean, the internet go find a joke in anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess so. Nah, preserve your life.
Mm-hmm.
Take cover. Bullets are flying. I was at the Cork over here on Adams years ago, and they got to busting right on the patio, and there was a telephone pole right there. Everybody ran. I just stood behind the telephone pole while everybody was running, and that was my form of taking cover. You don't always have to run. There might be something right there to guard and block bullets from hitting you. But no, I didn't clown any of the people that started to run. But sometimes running is not the smartest thing to do.
Hey, man, I went to a hood day, I think, 2014. This particular community don't like when it get brought up. But that's the most dangerous environment I've been in when gunfire erupted. That was something out of a movie.
Everybody started running like crazy.
It was too many guns going off in one place, bro. Inside, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, that was real. That was real, but.
And there's nowhere to go if you're inside. Unless you're by a door. Unless you're by an exit.
It was so many people trying to get out of one door. It was crazy. It was crazy. I'm about to tell that story on my channel. Hey, cause can't nobody go to jail, man. They just got to get over that. Cause
how many years has it been?
I think 2014, and it happened in this month. So you could guess it's March now. You could guess who hood day it was. So, but like it was crazy. It was crazy.
And I'm assuming somebody got killed.
A lot of people got hit. I'm trying to think. If nobody got unalive, God was working overtime that day. For real.
Alrighty. Have you tapped in with any Lil Durk updates on the case lately? It's been kind of quiet.
I don't know if this will be new news, but they real what's the word? How they dealing with this jury selection, and they saying the jury got to be anonymous in a way because of his status, and I think they saying for the safety of the jury. And other than that, it's his private life. His girlfriend, India Royal. I guess she running out of gas, man.
His girl?
She can't really. I guess she's saying she can't really hang in there. You know what I'm saying?
Why not?
Because he facing the rest of his life in jail. She got to live hers.
Well, wait till the case is finished. You know? People are counting them out already, and I got this clip from the labor lawyer. He's known as, not the labor lawyer, the lawyer for workers.
Mm-hmm.
Lawyer for workers. He's always putting updates to various cases. I remember this guy was there for the Tory Lanez trial, but he went to the latest Lil Durk case, and I got two clips off of his Instagram page I want to play. Here's clip number 1.
Lil Durk update. The trial has been pushed to August 2026. If you listen to the noise, all you're going to hear is Durk is cooked. Nobody's there for Durk. Motion denied. But that's just the noise. The fact of the matter is his trial team has won a number of points in this case. The indictments, there's been 3 indictments, and each time the allegations against Durk have thinned out. Some of the evidence that they wanted to use has actually been withdrawn so that the judge didn't have to exclude it. I'm going to take you through it piece by piece. I'll leave the best parts for the end. First, when they charged Durk, the main allegation about him rapping in his lyrics was this lyric about him going, told me they got an addy, got location, green light, seen your son on the news screaming, no, no.
Told me they got an addy, go, got location, go, green light, go, go, go. Look on the news and see your son, you screaming, no, no.
Okay, that lyric, if you play that lyric, then you play the video of Quando next to the murdered victim, no, you would have won major points with a jury. That lyric's not in the indictment anymore because Findling showed that those lyrics were written well before the murder. A couple more points. When they bought this case, they said the conspiracy started in August 2022. That's when Durk arranged to get these rentals, these flights. That's when he made arrangements for the bounty. Then they switched that and they said, actually, the conspiracy started back when Von died in November 2020. And they had to do that because they needed to bring in more lyrics. They needed to bring in Instagram comments and the podcast comments to build that whole story because it wasn't enough to just show him paying shooters and show him renting cars. Maybe they're not going to be able to show all that. Let's extend it back. Let's give the jury a bigger story. They withdrew evidence of a 2022 incident in Chicago, which appears to have been them wanting to show that, hey, look, another time in Chicago back in 2022, he paid for people to go do violence. Well, they took that off the table and they said, hey, we're not going to talk about any of that. And here's the big one. When they charged Durk, they said in the indictment about the bounty that at the direction of defendant Durk Banks, defendant Wilson, that's OTF Dede, would pay the bounty or monetary reward to the shooters. That's gone. We know OTF Dede Wilson is going to trial. So their main allegation on the bounty that Durk told Dede to pay the shooters is gone, and they're pivoting to another way to prove the bounty. What did they pivot to? They say the consideration, the thing Durk promised for the murder, was lucrative music opportunities with OTF, putting people in videos. That's their theory of the bounty payment. That is where you make your defense. The murder for hire statute requires quid pro quo. The murder has to be committed in exchange for something of economic value, not an after-the-fact gift, not something that you would have just happened anyway, not something you do normally as part of your business, an actual contract. Okay, and if all the government can do is point out that the shooters were in the music videos after the fact, a jury has a real question to answer about that was a murder contract or just some other part of a relationship between a lot of people who were connected in a lot of ways.
Okay, so
hey man,
that's part one.
Hey, he eating. Okay, I like how he laid that out.
Yeah, the lyrics are really interesting because it made me think of the D4 David thing, because he's got lyrics that are consistent with this girl, Celeste Rivas, being found dead in his trunk. But we talked about this before, Munchie. That song is like 2 or 3 years old, you know, just as this attorney pointed out, these lyrics that they want to use are way before the murder.
The only difference is the lyrics with the David song, that could have been a fantasy on how he want to take somebody out, versus Durk. You can't guess what Quando Rondo would have said when his relative got unalive.
Impossible.
Right, so.
Yeah, and then also I think the other main point is murder for hire has to be a tangible, the government has to prove that a tangible, valuable exchange was made to commit the murders, and I guess they're struggling to do that at this point in time. So now they're just going to say, oh, he's promising to give them music opportunities. And
that's regular. To be in somebody's music video is not no, it's not. It's regular. You in all your homies' videos. It's called supporting.
Yeah, can you imagine like all the misinformation though that the government is going to try to throw at a jury during this Durk trial, if that's the way it's going?
And that's why that's where the gang expert come in at. You know, in gang culture, murder for hire, no, that they do that for the free, for respect and retaliation, I guess, but not for monetary gain. So,
all right, I got part two of this same attorney, and he goes by Lawyer for Workers. Check him out, part two. Here we go.
Interestingly, at the same time that the government pivoted from saying Dede paid the shooters to saying, hey, it was putting people in music videos, they also added a fallback charge. So when they bought the case, the original indictment, there was no stalking charge. In the second superseding indictment against Durk, they added a stalking charge. And the stalking charge is important because it doesn't require any contract. No quid pro quo, no bounty, no payment theory. You can add that charge and simply prove that, hey, he was telling people to go do this. He didn't necessarily pay them to go do a murder, but he was telling them to go follow that guy. He was telling them to go stalk that guy. And a jury can look at it and say, a lot like in the Dede case, that, hey, not exactly sure here. Very, 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 very suspicious individual over here. I'm going to go ahead and hit him with the lesser charge. And so, when the government puts in that fallback charge later in the case, that tells you that they're not 100% sure on their theory, that they acknowledge that, hey, we need to have a fallback here. keep an eye out for a couple things. One, the motion for an anonymous jury is still hanging out there. That means that the jurors go in there and their identities and names and addresses are not revealed. If that motion gets granted, it's going to change the complexion of this case significantly, because if you're a juror and you go in there and the judge tells you, hey, we're going to keep everything confidential and your identity secret because this is a dangerous case, well, you might rule a certain way based on hearing that information. The other thing to keep an eye out for, not all of the lyrics have been ruled on. A lot of the lyrics, especially those lyrics that have to do with bounties, the judge said, hey, when we get to closer to trial and I see how the government is going to try to prove a bounty, that's when I'll decide whether these lyrics about bounties are relevant. One thing to keep it a buck, and just to not sugarcoat it, the lyrics that Durk has out there about slide for Vaughn, got it back in blood, you just don't know that's how it's supposed to be. The podcast comments about I just don't be hearing those comments anymore about sliding for Vaughn.
They be on my page like slide for Vaughn, I know they trolling me.
All that stuff is in. All that stuff is incredibly damaging to Durk. Had those things not been released into the public record, my God, this would be a much easier case to defend. All that being said, Durk trial, August 2026, this will be a trial for...
Okay, there
They
you go.
saying what Bricc Baby said is damaging.
Which, oh, yeah.
You don't hear him saying slide for Vaughn no more. Oh, they saying they said my boy Bricc Baby is some detriment from what he said.
Was he the only one saying that?
On no jumper.
Was Bricc Baby the only one saying that?
No. The thing was, it was like they trolling the internet trolling Durk saying slide for Vaughn.
Yeah.
That's they little, you know what I'm saying, trying to troll him. And, you know, Bricc Baby went on no jumper. Like, they can't say slide for Vaughn no more.
Back in the day, before all this was common for your beef to be out in public, you know what I'm saying? It allowed you time to think. Was it that serious? Who the do we? Now it's like, oh, they did something. Oh, slide for him. Oh, you a bitch. Oh, yeah.
Slide for Vaughn,
Ain't
right? Yeah.
They say you can't say that no more.
Why? Oh, yeah, because of... no. Like,
They
who died?
say you can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FVG Cash? Or who?
Nah, because Lil Pop.
So he mentioned that anonymous jury thing that you just talked about briefly.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they haven't ruled on that yet.
Yeah, that shouldn't be allowed.
No, it's definitely going to insert a certain amount of bias, because you're going to make the juries feel like, dang, if this case is so dangerous that we need to be completely anonymous, maybe the guy's guilty, you know?
Hey, but hold on. But so that how do jury selection work if they anonymous? How do you, like, is it different in the feds jury selection from the state?
Yeah, I have no experience in federal jury selection, so I don't know how the game go.
It's impossible for the jury to be anonymous if the DA and you and your team is jointly picking the jury.
Wait, say that again?
If my team, the prosecution and the defense, they jointly pick the jury,
yeah,
how is it anonymous anyway?
Well, they're probably not going to do it in a big room. Like, you usually have 100 jurors in a room, and they go to each juror and have conversations in front of everybody else. They're probably going to do it one by one. Each juror is going to come in.
But the defendant still know who the jurors is, because he's sitting in. Him and his lawyer will be in, like, while they doing the jury selection, if it's done like the state.
Yeah, but if they're doing it anonymous, then maybe the juror is behind a glass and you can't see them, and you just hear them. I have no idea, but
hey, no, that seemed like it's against some type of what's the word? They rights, like that. This don't sound right.
Well, jurors are always afforded a certain amount of confidentiality, so that's not completely unusual. The jurors are only referred to as by a number, 1 through 12. The only people who know who they are would be the judge and the court, you know,
and the defendant.
No, well, the defendant won't know the juror. You never know the name of a juror. You just know the number. You know that juror number 6 is a white guy. Juror number 7 is a black lady.
You know his occupation also.
You'll know that. You'll know occupation, you know, things of that sort. Whatever questions are asked during the selection process, you'll know. Like, have you ever been arrested, or do you have a family member that's been a victim? They ask all these questions to get a better background on you. But if they're talking about anonymous, that means that it's not going to be done in front of other jurors. But they haven't ruled on it yet.
That's the yep.
They haven't ruled on it yet.
I don't think it's gonna go through.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
They trying too hard. When they do all that extras, that it give me the notation that they really ain't got an open and closed case. You know what I'm saying?
All right, this is actually a third clip from the same attorney regarding Lil Durk.
LilDurk update. There are a lot of music lyrics that the government wants to get admitted into evidence in his murder for hire case. Now, the judge heard argument. I'm going to tell you what the judge said. This is a very big fight because if these lyrics get in, they're liable to take a juror and say, you know what, this guy is a menace. Let's put him away for something. If not the top charge, murder for hire, maybe the lesser charge of stalking. A lot like what you saw in the Dede case when that Cassie video came in. The lyrics at issue here, the judge listened to argument. He said, I need more time to think on it. One of the lyrics was, I'm the type to run from police. And the judge said, clearly that has nothing to do with the murder case. Just saying, fuck the police or I run from police, that's out. But there's a lot of other lyrics that they're trying to use, including unreleased music that they found on Durk's phone. What's crazy to me is the most incriminating lyrics they want to use are from songs released before the murder that make Durk seem like a psychic. There's this song, Who Wants Smoke, released 10 months before the murder. It says, quote, they be on my page like Slide for Vaughn. I know they trolling me. Got it back in blood. Y'all just don't know that's how it's supposed to be. Government says this proves motive. But really, if a jury hears that, this sounds like an admission. But an admission made 10 months before the murder. This is not Minority Report. Song Rumors with Gucci Mane dropped 7 months before the murder. They want the lyric, quote, I don't want no N-word who you catch. I want the one I paid for.
I don't want no niggas who you catch. I want the one I paid for.
Okay, so under the government's theory, they want to play that lyric. They say it shows that he puts bounties. It shows that he was rapping about paying a shooter and the shooter hit the wrong guy 7 months before it happened, like he's some type of psychic, and he wrote that lyric knowing his shooter that he's going to put the bounty up on is going to hit the wrong guy. It would be crazy to let this stuff in. Durk put out so much music and talks about nothing but shooting and the streets and get back and I'm this and I'm that. You could probably find a lyric to fit every single possibility of how a murder for hire plays out in the streets of Los Angeles. In other words...
All right, so you got the point there. Lyrics is definitely going to be a big thing.
He might want to hire him.
Well, he's an attorney, so...
Yeah, you might want to hire him, put him on a team.
This guy?
Yeah.
No,
hell yeah.
He's not a criminal defense attorney.
He need to be on the team at least, though.
Well, he got a great attorney already. That they're going through all the lyrics, and unfortunately, the law against using lyrics against you in a trial is a California state law that Gavin Newsom signed a couple years ago, where lyrics cannot be used against you unless it's specifically. There's exceptions. If it's specific to the crime, then it can be used against you. But these type of lyrics that this attorney is talking about would most likely not be used in a state case here in California because is it specific? It seems vague.
I mean, it's pre-existing the act though. Like, but you can't guess the things he rapping. You can't guess it go that way. So
yeah, but
how you guess they hit the wrong person, the cousin instead of Rondo, and like you just can't guess that.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, we'll see what goes on. August 2026, your boy Lil Durk will be going on trial if everything stays on course. All right, man. Last thing I wanted to mention is that Big U got a superseding second indictment. I didn't get a chance to read it all, but it's been covered. It's been covered by a couple of media outlets, and it's not looking good. It is not looking good because there is a host of informants and CWs and CHSs, confidential human sources. And let me just read a little bit from the Source magazine covered this indictment. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Big U faces expanded federal charges as new indictment details alleged threats and intimidation. Federal prosecutors have widened the scope of their case against Big U, filing a superseding indictment that adds a series of new overt acts, including allegations that he threatened to kill the late Nipsey Hussle in intercepted phone calls years after the rapper's 2019 death. To be clear, the federal government is not accusing Big U of involvement in Nipsey's murder outside the Marthon clothing store. That case has been prosecuted in state court where Eric Holder was convicted of first-degree murder. The new federal filing instead focuses on what prosecutors describe as a broader racketeering pattern built on intimidation, violence, and control. According to Deputy Attorney Todd Blanche, federal authorities cite intercepted phone calls from late 2022 and early 2023 in which Henley allegedly made threatening statements about Nipsey Hussle and others. In one call from December 2022, prosecutors say Big U said he was bigger than the deceased rapper, claimed he disciplined Nipsey Hussle, and described himself as bigger than any other Rollin' 60 Crip. And that's pretty much the sum of this.
That didn't sound too bad. I think everybody know about the physical thing. I done heard stories about it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
in 2011,
when we talk about the biggest, we talking about what that. And you think of Rollin' 60s, you do think of Big U. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with thinking you the biggest of anything.
And then the gang culture, when you know what I'm saying, like say something is done, it's not accepted. I mean, it's disciplinary action, physical, y'all fist the cuffs. So I mean, I don't get the big deal with that.
It says here that he has presented himself as a mentor, youth advocate. The government's superseding indictment seeks to contrast that with the public image, with that prosecutors describe as private boasts of violence and enforcement. Let's see. This case now heads towards what is expected to be a closely watched federal trial, with the new allegations likely to become central. Among the newly added overt acts, prosecutors allege Henley discussed disciplining another Rollin' 60s member identified as OG Crip Cuz, claiming he had beaten for perceived disrespect and warning that he could have ordered a killing instead. So it's just a bunch of more information that they acquired, most likely through these confidential human sources. And I wanted to read, I found this 90-page document, which is part of the discovery in Big U's case. This document is more specific towards Bear Claw, but I noticed on about halfway through it, they get to talking about phone calls that have been recorded, and Wack100's name comes up here. I'll read from a paragraph called Witness Interviews and Arrests. Interviews have been conducted. This is the federal government's filing. Interviews have been conducted during the investigation that have been effective in gathering information about Henley's involvement in the homicide. This is about Rayshawn Williams that was killed in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They have also been effective in gathering information related to Henley's collection of extortion payments. Some of the interviews have also led to the recruitment of a few and aforementioned confidential sources who have been used during this case. However, as described above, these confidential sources have taken in this investigation as far as it can go, and short of meeting its prosecutorial goals and objectives. Additionally, in my conversations with CHS-1 and CHS-2, I have learned that Henley associates with a tight-knit circle of people who have known each other for decades. Continued interviews with court-authorized interception of the target location could unnecessarily alert the targeted communicators to the interest of law enforcement in their illegal activity. Now, here's the paragraph that gets more interesting. The interviews would also have the effect of alerting the targeted communicators and others, therefore compromising the investigation and resulting in the possible destruction or concealment of documents and other evidence. Additionally, if the targeted communicators are alerted of the government's investigation, they may flee in order to avoid prosecution. For example, in late July 2022, the FBI Houston Division conducted a telephone interview with Cash Jones, aka Wack100, about his interactions with a subject of their investigation. The FBI Houston Division believes Cash Jones recorded the interview because the entirety of the interview was posted to YouTube the following day. Based on my training and experience and knowledge of the investigation, I believe the interviews of associates of the targeted communicators will not stay private and alert them from the task force investigation of the Big U enterprise. And that just stood out to me because it just lets us know, Munchie, that the feds is listening to YouTube. They're listening to Wack100. They're listening to everything that he says about Big U. They're obviously, even though 600's name is not in this particular document, they're listening to anything and everything that's related to Big U on YouTube, and they're using that as evidence.
Well, it sounds like they got something brewing for the Prince family, J-Prince and them, because that recorded call is regarding J-Prince. So they basically say he posted it to YouTube the next day, and you know they said something about that interfering with another investigation.
Okay, my question.
Did you catch that?
No, I'm confused. How is the Houston FBI interested in a call that Wack100 recorded tied into Big U?
They saying that it will alert them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like look, if you read it, I'll point it out.
Yeah, you're right. It would alert them that the feds are investigating.
Right. So that call didn't have nothing to do with Big U.
They're using it as an example,
right,
of trying to not let the people alerted that the feds are paying attention.
Right, investigation to be threw all off.
But it says here though that the FBI actually conducted a phone interview with Cash Jones about his interactions with the subject of their investigation. So are you saying the subject of their investigation is
the
Prince
family? Yeah, some J-Prince.
Okay. So that's down the line then. That's something else that we don't really have information on.
That's what I'm saying. They got something brewing for the Prince family. You know what I'm saying?
That's a trip, man.
You know, they investigating Big U, but they noticing over here while they investigating Big U, this dude is recording federal agents' conversations and posting it to YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm going to put a link to this document. This is a 90-page federal filing. It talks a whole lot about the number of confidential sources. I believe in this particular document, they've labeled at least 6 or 7 CHSs, confidential human sources. And should I read the lastly? Let me read one more thing. Confidential human source number 3. Let's read what confidential human source number 3 had to say to the feds. Confidential human source 3 has received parole benefits and monetary compensation for, they say his or her. I'm just going to say his, but they have his or her to not let us know if this is a male or female. Mm-hmm. But for his assistance with another FBI investigation. CHS-3 has also received monetary compensation for his assistance with the FBI's investigation into the 60s. CHS-3 has a criminal history that includes stalking, possession of controlled substances for sale, and domestic violence. CHS-3 has also provided information to the California Department of Corrections and the Riverside Police Department. I have discussed the reliability of CHS-3 with the handling agents and officers from each and other law enforcement agency. Through these discussions, I have learned of no instance where the information provided by CHS-3 to other law enforcement agencies has been false or misleading. CHS-3 information has been corroborated by other confidential sources, physical surveillance, and through controlled drug purchases and consensually recorded conversations and phone calls. CHS-3's information has never been found to be false or misleading. So each CHS-3 has a lot of information described about them in this document, and that's just CHS-3 for anybody who wants to take a guess who that might be. Riverside PD and domestic violence history.
Everybody thinking the same person.
All right, man. Munchie B, the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Where can they tap in with you at?
Morals Over Money TV. Go everybody. Like, hype, and subscribe over there.
Like, hype, and subscribe if you're on the mobile. If you want to listen to this episode, Apple, Spotify, iHeart is where straight politicking can be found. I also got episodes of California Tier Talk that are on the same platforms if you want to tap in with people who are telling their stories from prison. And clips of this episode will be found on the Street TV YouTube platform. We out.